Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's by Transfer Express. My name is Andy Curtis, and I am the training coordinator here at Transfer Express. It is my pleasure to join you today to talk about saving printing costs using custom transfer sheets. I hope everyone is happy and healthy today, and hopefully the weather is nice where you're at because it's not so bad here. It's cold, but we haven't had a lot of snow, a lot of the S word. So hopefully everyone's just as lucky as we are. I hope everybody can hear me. We got a new headset today, so please, as always, if you have any input, questions, or anything, or if anything gets wonky along the way, please feel free to type it into the chat box there. If you have questions as we go, my helper behind the scenes is going to assist in answering some of those questions. I will keep my eye on your chat boxes as they pop up, and if I see something I can answer real fast, I will be happy to do so. If you've joined me before, you guys know I love the interaction with you, so please feel free. The webinar is also being recorded, so if you want to check out the slides and listen to the webinar again later, you are welcome to do so. The webinar will be posted to transferexpress.com under the Help and Education section. So, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with saving print costs using custom transfer sheets. There's going to be a lot of great information in today's webinar. What's funny is everything that we're going to talk about today, there are tidbits that we've discussed little bits at a time. Ooh. Window popping up here. Sorry, bear with me for just a second here. Sorry about that, everybody. We're going to talk about things that we've discussed before, but we've never really given a lot of time to it. Topics that we brush by and that we don't always spend a lot of time on. So today we're actually going to dedicate today's whole webinar to gang sheets. How we can save money with gang sheets, how custom transfer sheets in general can save you money versus screen printing. So we're going to talk about just this topic today. So let's go ahead and move on here. All right, so first of all, before we can talk about how we're going to save you cash, the first question is, what is a custom transfer sheet, or a gang sheet, if you will? So for those of you who are brand spanking new to the industry, or maybe still getting your feet wet, still understanding the terminology and stuff, I can relate. 15 years ago when I started in the industry, you hear some of these words and you're like, what in the world does that mean? So for those of you who are new and you don't understand what any of this terminology is, let's first cover that a custom transfer sheet, custom transfers, they are screen printed ink. So we're talking about real honest-to-gosh screen printing that's being printed onto a piece of release paper. Now, the paper itself is 11 1/4 by 14. 11 1/4 by 14 inches. So what this means is that you are paying for that sheet of paper. When you're buying custom transfers, you're paying per sheet. So you have that full 11 1/4 by 14 inches to work with. You can print one thing on there. You can print 20 things on there. It all comes down to the size of the transfers you're printing. Now, the catch to saving money, one of the biggest secrets is as we go through the webinar and I show you a whole bunch of visual examples today, you're going to see that one of the common themes is the ink colors are the same on all the images. For example, the example that I have right here on this page, the Mayfield basketball designs here, it's a whole bunch of designs. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like we got 8 designs all on this one sheet of paper, and all 8 of these Mayfield basketball designs are black. It's important that you keep the color in mind when you're trying to devise a cost-saving gang sheet, because if you have different colors, for example, if all of my Mayfield basketball designs were black, except for the barbed wire ones, those were orange, well, now I've turned it into a 2-color transfer because some of the art is orange and some of the art is black. So you want to keep it all one color or all the same colors. If everything you're doing is black and orange, but then you have one white design, well, you don't want to put that white design on that paper. You want to do its own order, otherwise it becomes a 3-color design. And then to cut apart and apply the multiple apparel items with a heat press. That's the idea here. So you purchase the transfers from us here at Transfer Express. We deliver them to you. You cut them apart. You apply. Now, what would happen here is if you purchase these Mayfield basketball designs, as you see here, we would actually trim those. You would actually trim those when you receive the paper. You would do so with just a regular pair of scissors, or some people like to get precise. We'll bust out an X-Acto knife and do it, but all you're doing is cutting these images apart. And what's funny is the point here is that you can do an entire outfit. You can do tons of garments with just one transfer sheet. And again, the example on this page is perfect. You've got your Mayfield basketball design 2011 with that big basketball. You've got your full size, or not quite full size, but it's a good size for the front of a shirt. You've got Mayfield Tigers with those wings. That's good for maybe the back of a shirt. Or you could do those on the butt of some yoga pants or some warm-up pants. You've got the cool barbed wire designs. Those could go on some sleeves. You've got a couple small Mayfield and Mayfield Heights that could go on legs or short sleeves, horizontal across the sleeve. So hopefully you get what I'm talking about here. One gang sheet, one order, by utilizing all the space on that 11 1/4 by 14 page, you can save a lot of money. So again, we're talking screen printed transfers. They are honest to gosh screen printing, being printed onto release paper. Paper's 11 1/4 by 14, and make sure they're all the same color. Make sure you're using similar colors across the gang sheet. So with that being said, let's talk about some more examples. Let's sort of expand on this just a little bit here. So here's an example of a full-size gang sheet using full size and a sleeve. So we've got our full-size design, Wildcat basketball with our little Wildcat there. And then we've got a sleeve design off to the right-hand side, Wildcat with some paw prints. Now, here's what's important to remember as we're looking at all these gang sheets as we go through these today. You're not paying extra for these gang sheets. The sheet of paper is one flat cost that you're going to pay regardless of if there's one image or 20 images. So you're not paying extra to put this Wildcat's sleeve print on here. You're going to pay the same as if you had left it off. So what you're doing when you're adding another image to a gang sheet, whether it's a sleeve or it's anything else, when you're adding another design to a gang sheet, you're adding sheer profit into your pocket. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. Customer orders these basketball shirts from you, and we're going to deviate from the slide for just a split second here. The normal way that you would calculate the cost of a shirt, for those of you who've joined me before, you already know this one, but if you're new, the way to calculate the cost of a shirt, what you should charge your customer, is to take the cost of the transfer plus the cost of the shirt itself times 2. That's how you determine what you should charge your customer. Now, think about that for a second. The cost of the transfer. That cost is the same whether there's one image or 2. So if your customer was just ordering full-size, full-front Wildcat basketball designs just for the fronts of shirts, that's great. You would accomplish that. You'd do the cost of the transfer plus the cost of the shirt times 2. You'd be done. But instead, you've got this extra room. The paper's 11 by 14, 11 1/4 by 14. You've got this extra space on the side. Why not add the sleeve print? Now you've got 2 transfers. You can offer to add the sleeve print to your customer's order for anywhere from $2 to $4 per shirt, all depending on how many colors and what type of shirts, what kind of budget your customer is working with. But now you have this great option of adding these sleeve prints to the shirt, and the sleeve prints are pure and utter profit because the cost of the transfer doesn't change just because you added that sleeve size. So what you do is you can sort of get an edge against the competition by offering to add the sleeves for just $1 maybe, some kind of low price to get yourself in with the customer. And keep in mind, we've had webinars about this, about how to attract customers and how to retain customers and such. This is one of those great ways to do that because, again, you're not paying any extra for this Wildcat sleeve design. So why not offer to stick it on there for $1? If you're going to go to a basketball tournament and you're selling these at a tournament, it's even better. You can put a sign up at your booth and you can sell these to kids and say, hey, for $1 per sleeve, we'll put Wildcats on your long sleeves. These are all just ideas. Definitely a great way to generate more money just by utilizing all the space on the sheet of paper. And a sleeve size is perfect because when you do a full-size transfer, like the big Wildcat basketball here on the left-hand side, when you do a big full-size transfer, you don't have a lot of room left on the paper. It's kind of just a skinny strip of room on the end of the paper. But a skinny strip is exactly what a leg or a sleeve size is, so that's actually perfect. It's perfect to do sleeves like that. If you're not a sleeve person, then here's another idea for gang sheets: 6 left chest designs. And now this is one of those popular ideas. I'm sure you've all seen it out there. One of the ladies in our office actually did this with her grandchild. A gang sheet that says 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and each month you take a picture of the baby wearing the shirt that says the particular month. So I'm sure it's probably out there on social media somewhere. But the whole point is they don't all have to be the same image. You can see how these are practically the same thing. The only thing we've changed is the number, really. And it's simple, too. This didn't require any legwork or anything. The circle with the dotted line is one of our clip arts. So very simple. Now, we could have expanded on this, too. You could have done something different. You didn't have to keep it that simple. Perhaps you want to put something special, some kind of special note underneath each circle. You could do that. It could be a different message under each circle. It could be, you could have added a second color here too, would have been another easy way to go. The dotted lines and the circles, you could have added a second color there, maybe outline the text inside the circle with that second color. So these are totally flexible. There's flexibility here with these gang sheets. And you see that we didn't even take up all the space here. So what you could do is we could move those heart sizes to the far ends of the paper, and then you've got some space right smack dab in the middle of the transfer where you could fit some other bits and pieces, as a matter of fact, too. So again, the whole point is to fill up the space with as much stuff as you can. But in this slide, we're showing you how 6 standard left chests, and this size is usually between 4 by 4 or 4.5 by 4.5 inches. When you fill up a sheet with standard left chest images, it fits 6 on a sheet. Instead of 6 heart sizes, why not 8 caps? So if you are into baseball or any of the sports that generate cap sales, you'll see that you can actually fit 8 standard caps on one sheet of paper. Now, what's funny is, if you look closely here, they're all different teams. We've got Tigers, Menor Softball, Giants, Red Sox, Indians, Cubs, Orioles, Reds, and White Sox. Okay, so they're all the same color. Now, the point is, the transfers might all be white, but the hats can all be different colors. So all the ink is white, but Tigers is going to go on an orange cap, Giants is going to go on black, Indians on blue, and etc. So if you are ever doing leagues, if you're ever in the position of doing a baseball league for any of your customers, one of the smartest things you can convince them to do is change the colors of the uniforms to bright colors that white will contrast well. So then when you're doing the league jerseys, all you have to do is order white for everything. And it's the color of the jersey that's different. That's one of the smartest things you can do. Sometimes the leagues like to get all crazy with their colors, and well, you can't put white on this color, you got to get black. It becomes a nuisance because now you got to buy the one team of baseball stuff in black as opposed to all the other teams you could be doing in white. So if you're ever doing league stuff, try to get strategic like that. Think about doing bright colors that white will contrast well. But anyway, so the point here is that if you were to do these 8 teams, sometimes customers get in their heads that, well, instead of doing 8 different teams on the sheet, why don't I just do the same team 8 times? Well, then you're going to have to do an order for Tigers, and an order for Giants, and an order for Indians and Red Sox, and before you know it, it's 8 separate orders, instead of doing one order with 8 on a sheet. So you'll always save money by ganging these images together. It's always going to be cheaper to put them together than to try to leave them separately. This is most likely our most popular gang sheet layout here, and it's kind of funny. The layout is 1 full size and then 2 hearts or 2 caps. Now, I should point out that when you do a full size, you usually don't have enough space to do a standard heart size, which is 4.5 by 4.5. You usually have to shrink it to about 3.5 by 3.5. But the point is, this is the most popular layout for gang sheets. And what I want everyone to realize is that you can get really flexible with this. Now, in the example, we've got St. Paul Panthers with the P, and then some small St. Paul's with the cat underneath there. It's all St. Paul. But it doesn't have to be all St. Paul. Just because the full-size image is for St. Paul, we do whatever you want with the bottom image. In our example, we've just done everything revolving around this particular school's logo. So you can get creative here. The colors used in the full size are red and white, so as long as whatever you're doing for the heart size underneath there, as long as it's red and white, then go for it. Um, oh, yeah, good question, Randy. I'm sorry. See, it's one of those terminology things. Heart size is another way to say left chest. One thing you'll discover in the industry is that we have a lot of different terminologies, a lot of stuff that means the same thing. So when we say heart size, we mean left chest size, the front left chest of a t-shirt. Some people call it crest size as well. So either way, it all means the same thing. Anyway, so when they order their full size print, use the space to promote and add additional items. Because again, this is all free. You're not paying any extra. So if you're doing that full size, that heart is just, it's money. It's pure money because you're not paying any extra for it. And here's a fun little thing to do. When you have those hearts, maybe you are doing St. Paul and you are doing the full size and then these little St. Pauls. It's a great way to show the school, hey, I could do shorts for you. I could do mouse pads for you. Buy a mouse pad, buy one pair of gym shorts and press them, and it's a small investment to show the school what else you're capable of producing for them. You can create, actually, one of the slick ideas here is you can create your own little transfer business cards, as a matter of fact. Your left chest size down there instead of St. Paul could be something showing you what the name of your business is and your business's phone number and website address. And you cut out some pieces of Pellon from an embroidery supply company, just plain old Pellon that an embroiderer would use. Press your little business cards onto the Pellon and include that with your order from your customer. It's a perfect way to get your name out there. So definitely some clever ideas here. You can also use these left chest sizes as examples for potential businesses. There's all sorts of fun stuff you can buy. You can buy miniature T-shirts from a lot of the some of the warehouses out there, the wholesale warehouses. You can buy miniature T-shirts that look like they're for dolls, and that's a clever way of advertising your business. Just using those left chest transfers to apply onto a miniature T-shirt and hand those out. So there's all sorts of fun stuff you can do. The whole point that I'm trying to get across here is that when you have that extra 3 inches of space, use it for something. Even if it's just a plain piece of clip art, even if you're just going to put some stars, like even if we didn't need these St. Paul left chests, and I'm sitting here going, well, I don't want to waste the space, just some 3-inch by 3-inch white stars. I'll do something with them someday. I might need them I might not need them right now, but who knows? I might be able to decorate somebody's shirt, or I might be able to pull off some kind of fun freebie with just a couple of white stars sometime. So why not do it? The whole point is just to use all the space you can. And again, what's nice too is that the space that's left down there at the bottom, that 3.5 by 3.5 or 4 by 4 space that's down there, you can do a lot of stuff with that. It can be heart sizes, you can be hat sizes, they can be shorts, they can be sweatpants. There's a lot of stuff you can do with a transfer that's that size. So definitely some fun ideas. And again, it's all money in your pocket. It's all free because you're paying for the sheet regardless. Now, this is a super popular concept, and I think we started to see this probably about 2 or 3 years ago is when it really started to get hardcore and people were practicing this more often. But T-shirt tags. These days you can buy tagless shirts from just about anywhere out there. And T-shirt tags are a great way of advertising your business. I mean, there's no reason that Hanes and Fruit of the Loom should get all the credit, right? If you get a tagless shirt, you just press your company's tag where the tag should be and have your company name. Maybe even instead of, again, our example here shows Compton Company, large, 50/50, made in the USA. Well, maybe instead of made in the USA, maybe it's your phone number, or maybe it's your website. Or maybe it's some kind of clever message to advertise your company. Who knows? The point is, tags are a great way to put your name out there in a subtle way. And they're cheap too, keep in mind, because you're paying for the sheet of paper. And let's see, you're getting 6 times 5. So that's 30 tags right there. You're getting 30 tags on one sheet of paper. So they're definitely cost effective. Now, the one thing I want to throw out there to all of you who are thinking, ooh, I like this tag idea. The one thing I want to throw out there is you do have to be careful. about how much you try to put on a tag. Obviously, tags are very tiny. Transfers, when you heat apply them, the ink likes to expand a little bit. So people oftentimes will try to cram too much on a shirt tag. So my suggestion to everybody is, if you're interested in this tag concept, the design you see on our page here, right here, is QTG-1. The QTG-1 is actually made for it to be the perfect size that it will print, and the text will all be very readable and it won't close up on itself. So if you want to do the tag idea and you don't want to overload it, you want to make sure your tag turns out perfectly readable and a good size, I suggest using our QTG-1, or that's not pictured here, the QTG-2. So tags are a cool idea. If you are curious about the tag topic, please feel free to give us a call. Representatives would love to talk you through it and tell you all the fine details and ins and outs of the whole shirt tag thing. So here's another gang sheet idea, sponsor strips. Now again, every baseball league is a little bit different, or sports leagues in general, but every baseball league is a little bit different. But the whole idea is usually you want to put the sponsor for each particular team on the jersey. Now in the example here, we're saying that the sponsors are getting the above the number on the backs of the jersey. So the point is, normally you would have to do King Electric. You see King Electric all the way on the left on the black jersey. If you would do these singly, King Electric would be one order, East Bay Bank would be another order, East Bay Auto is another one, Gigi's Cleaners, W. Miller, Lockers, Market. So the problem here is you've got 6 different orders. It can get expensive. Instead of doing an order for each individual team, see how we got strategic about making sure the colors of each jersey were bright enough to accommodate white ink? And instead of orders for each team, we did one order that had Kings Electric, East Bay Bank, East Bay Auto, Gigi's, W. Miller, and Lockers, all on one single piece of paper. So then all we had to do was cut that into strips, press, and boom, you're done. So this is a great strategic way to use a gang sheet, and it doesn't have to be baseball. This can be any sport or any event in which you need sponsor names. You need sponsor names to go on the back of something. And bear in mind, you don't have to do big like this for the full back. We have sponsor sheets that will also accommodate left chests, sponsor sheets that will accommodate hat sizes. And bear in mind, those sizes are great for shorts, too, if you wanted to do sponsor names on shorts or something to that effect. So there's all sorts of fun stuff you can do with this concept. But the whole idea is you'll notice that all the sponsors are the same color, and we gang them together all on the same sheet. So instead of 6 orders, it was only 1 order. Here's an example of some of those sponsor sheets I was just talking about here. So you see how QSP1 is 11-inch sponsors that are 1 inch tall. QSP2 is 1.5 inches tall. Then we've got options like all the way down there at the bottom corner, QSP10, where it's 3 arched lines of text. So there's all sorts of different things. Now, I can honestly say the most popular one of these sponsor sheets when baseball time rolls around, at least in my opinion, the one that I see all the time, is that QSP8 at the bottom middle there, the 2 script and tail designs on the same piece of paper. That's perfect. We see those all day, every day during baseball season because it's perfect. You can do that script and tail design that every baseball team knows and loves because it is that old baseball standby. You can fit 2 of them on a sheet. And again, if you were clever about getting the league to use colorful shirts that are all great contrasts for white ink, you can put 2 teams on there. Top one you could do Indians softball, and the bottom one you could do Orioles softball. So then you order 10 sheets, or 15 sheets rather, sorry. You order 15 sheets, and now you've got 15 Indians, 15 Orioles, and all you got to do is cut them apart. So 1 order took care of 2 whole teams. So definitely a couple real super popular gang sheets here that we see quite a bit during baseball season. And I keep seeing baseball as an example, but it doesn't have to be baseball. Bear in mind that these sponsors can be used for whatever you want to use them for, other sports or corporate events or other different activities, anything that you need individual strips. All right, so cut service. If you do like the gang sheet idea, but you don't have the time to cut them yourself, we do offer a cut service. If you're interested, it is 10 cents per image. It costs you 10 cents per image for us to cut them. And bear in mind that your limit is that we have to be able to set up your gang sheet in such a fashion that the cuts are clean, straight lines. We wouldn't be able to fit things together like a jigsaw puzzle and cut that for you. It has to be clean, straight lines as opposed to curvy lines fitting around images. But if you're interested, it is 10 cents per image. Be sure to ask your dealer services rep about that. So what will fit on a gang sheet? We have a gang sheet calculator actually available. If you go to transferexpress.com/gang sheet calculator, you can access a gang sheet calculator in which you enter a height and a width, and it will actually tell you how many images were fit per sheet. And it doesn't have to be a perfect square like 5 by 5 in my example here. You could put in there 1 1/4 by 6, and it'll spit out exactly how many you'll get per sheet. So if you're trying to plan your gang sheet, now keep in mind this calculator does not consider multiple images. If you were doing a whole bunch of different size images, the calculator cannot figure that out for you. But when you're doing all the same image, it's the same thing just over and over again, you can enter that size and the calculator will tell you exactly how many will fit per sheet. So you can plan on your quantity and all that good stuff too. Now, let's say you're not going to use the gang sheet calculator. We have another option here. We have a chart that is available on our website and in our price guide. It's the same exact situation. You find the height on the left side of your chart. You find the width on the top of the chart, and where those two hit, you've got how many will fit per sheet. Now, in the example, we've got 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So you find 2 1/4 on the left, then you find 2 1/4 at the top, and where those two lines intersect, boom, 20. 20 images will fit per sheet. So the gang sheet image chart is handy dandy, and that's, again, it's also in your price guide. So that's not even, you don't even have to go to the website for it. If you have one of our price guides, it's towards the back of this year's price guide. So that's fantastic. But personal favorite. I can say with confidence that when we rolled out our brand new EasyView Online Designer, it definitely changed how much control that you, the customer, had on your gang sheets. And we've had nothing but the most fantastic input on this particular topic. The whole idea is our online EasyView Designer gives you the chance to design your artwork and your gang sheet all by yourself. Thank you, Keith. We appreciate the input. The whole idea here is you can use your dealer ID, which you are assigned when you place your first order with us. You use your dealer ID and your password to log on to transferexpress.com, and you can then go to the EasyView Online Designer by using the red toolbar at the top of the screen. We have a option where you can design an EasyView. So you go to EasyView and you can put your design together. So in our example here, we're doing shirts for Kelly's Pub, St. Patrick's Day drinking team. We chose our design, we put it all together, but then we moved it over to the left-hand side. You notice the dotted lines there on the picture on the example. Those dotted lines are the border of a sheet of paper, 11 1/4 by 14. So we moved the St. Patrick's Day design all the way over the edge as far as you could get it, and all the way up as far as it could get to the edge. And you're welcome to go right up to that edge. And we had a whole bunch of room left on the right side of the paper. So we decided to add some stuff for Mentor Skate Park. We've got the little left chest, Mentor, and then Skate Park. That would be great for a beanie hat, be great for a pair of shorts, would be great for just a regular hat. Actually, that's a perfect size to put horizontally on a short sleeve shirt. For those of you out there, if you have a cap press, doing short sleeves on a cap press is a fantastic little strategy. But then we also added that rectangular design that says Silly Boys, Skating is for Girls. So that's a slick design, cool design, and it didn't take up a lot of space. That's going to be perfect for maybe the front center of a shirt, or you could have some fun and put that at the top back of a girl's shirt. And if you've ever listened to my webinars before, you know that I like to encourage all of you guys to think outside the box when you're placing a transfer on a garment. It doesn't have to go there. You could actually do, the kids love these hip prints and stuff these days. You could do something sideways down the hip. You could do it horizontally across the hip. So think outside the box there. But the point is, it's a great size for a design like that, and it lets you do a whole bunch of fun stuff with it. And it didn't cost you any extra. You were able to set it up yourself, design all the art yourself, and put it together in such a fashion that you knew what you were going to get. So definitely a great option. EasyView is fantastic for designing your gang sheets. You have complete control over how much you fit on there. Of course, the one warning that I do have to give you guys and make sure everyone's clear about is make sure to give yourself room to cut. We aren't going to always understand how you set your gang sheet up, and we're not going to be able to read your mind and know if you intend to cut things or don't intend to cut things. So if you put things so close together that they touch, then, well, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. So just make sure you're leaving enough space to cut everything apart, whether it be a pair of scissors, a cutting board, X-Acto knife, however you're going to cut things. But anyway, what we did here was we did our St. Patrick's Day design, and then after we finished the St. Patrick's Day design, we clicked Add Layout at the top of the screen and added the Silly Boys design. After we finished that, we clicked Add Layout a third time and chose just a 2-line of text design to do the Mentor Skate Park that you see at the top right there. So definitely a fun way to do your gang sheets, and I know that probably everybody out there has heard about EasyView at this point if you're a current customer with us, but if you haven't played with EasyView, if it looked intimidating or you just haven't had time, make a minute to sit down and mess with EasyView. There are so many fun options. There's so much fun stuff, and you can save a whole boatload of money just by ganging stuff up like that. And again, you can see how these two topics, they don't relate at all. They're not related in any capacity. You've got St. Patrick's Day designs for Kelly's Pub, and then you've got some stuff for Mentor Skate Park to sell at their stand in the summertime. So it's a great way to put stuff together, especially if you have enough customers that you can pre-plan some of this stuff. So now, if you put your own stuff together, we do have a lot of you guys out there are graphic designers or have your own graphic design programs, Corel, Adobe, whatever you might have. Maybe you put something together yourself, maybe because it was custom artwork and not something you could do in EasyView with our artwork. If you do have your own custom artwork, you're welcome to send your custom gang sheets to us. You simply go to transferexpress.com, and at the top left of the screen, there's a red button that says Send Us Your Artwork. Just remember, you're going to set your workspace size to 11 1/4 by 14. So if you're in Corel, Adobe, whatever your graphic design software is, set your page size to 11 1/4 by 14, and yes, you can design all the way up to the borders, up to the edges, right up to there. Our suggestion, if you're going to design your own gang sheet with your own software, we do suggest at least somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of space between the images, depending on if you're going to cut them by hand or if you're going to cut them with a cutting board or however you're going to do it. But just make sure you have your paper size set properly and make sure you have enough space between your images. Okay. So that is what I have for you guys today. I saw a lot of questions popping up there. I saw a lot of you guys corresponding behind the scenes here, and I am glad to see that. I hope we've covered all the interesting tidbits for you folks today. If there's any questions that you think of, anything that comes up, feel free to shoot us an email, info@transferexpress.com, or give us a call. The customer service department would be happy to answer any of your questions. I encourage everybody also to check our blog, transferexpress.com. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen, you'll see a link for the Transfer Express blog. Things like these gang sheet layouts, we put this stuff on our blog constantly, and the whole point is we're just trying to give you ideas on how to save money. We've got all of our ideas on how to generate business and how to retain customers and all that kind of fun stuff. So definitely check out our blog if you have any input or anything. Also, if you have ideas for topics you would like to see as a webinar, you're welcome to shoot us an email, info@transferexpress.com. We're always looking for webinar topics and all that fun stuff. So, okay, everybody. The next topic we're going to talk about at the beginning of next month is how to grow your t-shirt business in 2015. So this means that I'm not going to see you guys until after the holiday season. So I hope everybody has a safe, happy, and healthy holiday season. I hope everybody gets to enjoy it with the ones you love. And in the meantime, I will join you again on Thursday, January 8th at 2 o'clock to discuss how to grow your t-shirt business in 2015. We're going to talk about trends. We're going to talk about some of the new bits and pieces we have for 2015. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of fun stuff.